I should be like you, Mel.
Ultimate on-demand destination for the UK's best fan-led football podcasts.
Want authentic supporter insight on all things Bournemouth? Follow Up the Cherries in all departments on the TalkSport Fan Network.
Club-dedicated content created by the fans, for the fans.
Search TalkSport Fan Network.
Good morning, Cherries fans. Welcome back to Up the Cherries in all departments. And of course, it's 8 a.m. and that can only mean one thing. Of course, that's Cherry AM. So good morning or good evening or good afternoon or wherever you are in the world. Thank you for joining us as always. Of course, the Friday slot means one thing. That means I'm joined by Paul from Oz. Paul, how you doing, buddy?
Yeah, good. Thanks for having us on, Matt. Looking forward to doing a good show tonight. 12 degrees over here, been a bit windy, settled down now, a bit overcast, but we've had a nice day today, really, compared to what we have had. So looking forward to the show, mate. Yep.
Yeah, no, the weather here, this week's been quite an autumn feel, should I say. Lots of rain, but there's not a cloud in the sky.
Wow.
Cloud in the sky. So it's beautiful here at the minute, which is nice. So we've got to make the most of it because obviously autumn is fast approaching, isn't it? But yeah, we've got a few topics for everybody today. It's going to have an international feel. Obviously, we do have the international break. So we're just going to discuss some of the players that are currently on international duty. And also we're going to look back at some players that have played for Bournemouth. You can probably have an idea of some of the shirts behind me. Some of the shirts there, we've got some former players as well as current players displayed there. So we're going to look back at some players that have played for Bournemouth and how many international caps they earned as well. So, there's some good numbers of caps there that we'll be talking about today. And we're also going to touch on a bit about Semenyo. Obviously, he's up for an award, which Paul's going to discuss in a second. But what we're going to do first, as always, we're going to jump into the comments and say hello to everybody, because obviously we do have a wonderful community that joins us every morning. So we're just going to pop in and say hello to everybody. And first up this morning, David DaCosta. Good morning, Matt and Paul from Melbourne, 14 degrees and sunshine. Sounds beautiful. Thanks for joining us as always, David. And also well done for picking your Spurs side from last week, which was spot on, even the substitutes, I think, if I remember rightly, Paul.
He did, and he was the only one who seemed to know that Solanke's got a long-term injury with his ankle. He's got an ankle problem with possible surgery. No, Dave is a huge Bournemouth supporter, but obviously he loves Spurs as well. And good job, Dave. You really crowned that one, mate. You got 11 out of 11. And I knew you'd go well. 11 out of 11, and you picked the subs, mate. You did a great job. So hopefully we could have you picking the team when we play them at Dean Court, mate, and see how you go on that. It'd be good. Yeah, no, well done.
Yeah, no, excellent. Well done, David. And as always, thanks for joining us each day. Another person that joins us every morning, Chris Hubble. How you doing, buddy? Always good to see you. Good morning.
Yeah.
Malcolm. Good morning, Matt. Paul from a wet Berlin this morning. You got the rain, Malcolm.
Wow.
Sorry to hear that. We've got beautiful sunshine here. So, yeah. I'm sure you'll find something to do today, though. Malcolm, I'm sure you'll keep yourself busy, even if it is raining. Dan Shaw, good to see you as always. Morning, Matt and Paul. International break, hate it. Yeah, it's a funny one, the international break, isn't it? It's one that, you kind of get geared up into the season and, you're getting really involved in the season. Then there's a break like this and it's like, you just want your regular football back. But yeah, next week, obviously, we'll have the regular fixtures back, which will be much better for everybody. But yeah, we'll just have to put up with watching England for a couple of days now.
You know what, Matt? It's a bit of a downer because when I come to the UK in 3 weeks, I believe in about another 4 or 5 weeks we've got another international break.
Yes.
I know we have. Yeah, we have. We've got 2 of them going on.
Yeah.
So that's another start and stop going on.
Yeah, and then I think after that one, I think the next one is March. I think after that one. I might be wrong. If anybody knows in the chat, do chuck it in.
And just to add up more of a mess, they've just changed the Newcastle game now to the Sunday.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, but they've had to do that because obviously Newcastle are in Europe, aren't they? I believe so.
Fair enough.
So yeah, and I think the way the fixtures work out, that's not been changed for TV. I don't think. I think that's to do with Europe.
Right.
Yeah. Liam, good morning, buddy. Always good to see you. Hope you're well. Is it true United wants to buy Semenyo from our team? Well, rumours about Semenyo is always going to keep cropping up with his form, and we're going to touch on a bit about Semenyo in a minute. And yeah, he's going to be linked to everybody just because he's such a great player. Paul, Wombat Care.
Hi.
Great to have you with us.
Hi, Johnny.
Hey, Cherry AM crew, big hello from Australian Wombats who follow you closely. Yeah, no, thank you very much for that. It's always great to see you in the chat. So, yeah, thanks for joining us.
I think John's given me a present for you to put in the studio somewhere. I've got to bring a wombat over for you, apparently, in my suitcase, Maddie. So,
yeah,
thanks, John.
Oh, that'd be lovely. Yeah, and I shall display that behind me. Yeah, no, that'd be lovely. Yeah, it's not a real one, is it, Paul?
Oh well, I'm not. I can't say that for customers' problems, but no, it won't be, mate. It will be.
I don't know how the wombat and the dog will get on. So,
wow.
David Da Costa, and hold your breath, hoping our players come back free from injury. Yes, that is something we will touch on. Yeah, Champions League on a Thursday night. So the Champions League on a Thursday night, because that's what I thought. I saw their fixture on a Thursday, and I thought that's normally Europa League and Conference League. So is Champions League now going to be across 3 nights?
No idea. No idea.
No idea. If you do know, do pop it in. Sorry, Paul.
Dan's talking about Newcastle. Is he there? The Newcastle.
Yeah, I believe so. Because I actually did see Newcastle scheduled on the Thursday night, and I was like, well, they're in the Champions League. So I don't know if the Champions League is happening across 3 nights now. I don't know. I've got no idea. But yeah, if you know, Dan, do please let us know in the comments. And Malcolm, fixture changes were inevitable. Yeah, that's it. It's always going to happen. It's just.
You know what I find strange is the Premier League, or the fixture people that do the Premier League fixtures, they know that Newcastle are going to play in Europe. They'd have to know that. They'd have to estimate. Why do they put it originally on Saturday? Why do they muck everyone around?
Because don't forget once the Premier League fixtures are done and come out, the UEFA and the draws for the European games are done later, so you don't know if Newcastle are going to be playing on a Tuesday or Wednesday or now
what a mess.
Thursday. So it's inevitable. They the tradition of Saturday 3:00 kickoffs in the top division. It's long because there will always be changes because of European competition. So it's it's one of those. It's like Malcolm says, it's going to always be inevitable that it will change, unfortunately.
Sure.
And obviously, when you're coming over, the Fulham games moved obviously from the Saturday to the Friday. So
Correct.
there you go. So Champions League fixtures are Tuesday to Thursday, because they used to be just Tuesday and Wednesday, didn't they? Champions League. So now it looks like they're Tuesday to Thursday. So it always used to be, didn't it? It used to be Champions League Tuesday, Wednesday, and then on the Thursday it used to be Europa League and Conference League. And then last season I noticed some of the Europa League games had creeped into the Wednesday. So it looks like everything's 3 days now. So
let's hope they do a lot of travelling, Matt, Newcastle, and get an away game in some horrible place, and they come back a bit tired, right?
Yeah. Darren Hurst, hi Matt and Paul. Hiya, Darren.
Hi, Darren.
And damn these work meetings, messing with my Cherry AM daily fix. And obviously, we had Darren on the show this week, which was great to have Darren join us. It was a great show with Malcolm. So great to see you in the chat, Darren. And Malcolm has just confirmed their Newcastle United home to Barcelona on Thursday, 18th of September. So the Barcelona game, I think if a lot of people cast their minds back to that night at St. James's Park back in the late 90s, I think it was 98, 99 maybe, when Asprilla scored a hat-trick against them. Great night of Champions League football. So I'm sure there's going to be lots of comparisons being made amongst the media between now and then about that Newcastle Barcelona game. I'm sure that's going to be a cracking game. So
I wonder what an Isaac shirt would be worth now with Newcastle shirt with Isaac on the back.
Yeah,
I think. What do you reckon you get for one of them? You wouldn't get much for one of them.
Probably heavily discounted, I would imagine. Yeah, you wouldn't have wanted to get your new Newcastle shirt with Isaac 14 on the back of it.
I know, and I bet you know what? I bet you they sold a lot as well.
Yeah,
they sold a lot of shirts.
Yeah, no, definitely. Well, Paul, let's get cracking. Back onto Bournemouth. So Semenyo, obviously he's up for an award. Before we look at the internationals, let's talk about this. I think deservedly slow with how he started the season. He started the season, excellent, just like he's just like we know he was going to. So tell us more about the award he's up for, Paul, and give us some more detail.
Yeah, sure. He's Antoine Semenyo has been nominated for the Premier League's Player of the Month for August. I think there's 5 other nominees. I didn't worry about who they were as such, but he's right up there for an award, based basically on his performance at Liverpool, where he scored 2 goals. And the second goal, well, what a goal. That second goal, as we know, mate, you just watch that over and over. I think that could be a contender for goal of the season. Don't know about goal of the month, but, I know it's a long season, but it's got to be some good goal to beat that, where he picks the ball up outside the 18-yard box, runs the whole length of the field, goes around Van Dijk like he's not even on the pitch, top centre half or stopper, and then hits the ball that hard. Alisson didn't even move. If you watch the replay, he didn't even move on the line, Alisson. He was just frozen. What a goal. So he got the 2 goals there, and he also got an assist against Wolves. They've taken that into account. But one thing, while I was looking at that today, Matt, the thing that made me laugh is, and anybody that's watching, I'd certainly like to get your valuations in the comments, was the fact that his current transfer value, it shows how far behind the times this lot are, is 40 million. I mean, there's many chairmen who'd get on the train and come down and pay that to get him. But Bournemouth put in their price of 70 million and said, go away. My valuation of him is 65, 70 million. It's got to be up there the way he's performing. I mean, he's one of the top forwards in the Premier League at the moment. So I'll be interested if anybody's got any ideas on what they honestly think he's worth. We don't want to base the whole show around it, but I'd be interested to know anybody's views on what people think he's worth, because I would say 70 million. And even then, somebody said about Man United on the comments there, if he was going to go, he'd have gone. He's not going anywhere. They've tied him down, I believe, for this season. I don't think he'll go in the new year. I think he'll stay at Bournemouth. Obviously, they've given him a huge pay rise. They've given him a 5-year contract. So, he's a big fish in a little pond, isn't he? As opposed to, going somewhere else. I don't think there's any chance of him going. But what a player. We're so lucky to have him, that guy.
Yeah.
Just hope he comes back not injured, as Dave said earlier in the show. But,
yeah. I mean, that source that you've used there that says that they value him at 40 million. Where was that from?
I think it was just called Transfer News or something. It was on. I looked at it at lunchtime. It said current transfer value. It may have been on Wikipedia. They haven't updated it, but they're miles off in their valuation. I mean, I had to laugh. About 3 months ago, I had to laugh. Somewhere one of the British papers said that Arsenal were preparing a bid for Semenyo for 40 million. And I laughed about it then, because even before he started this season, that's an insult to want to buy him for 40 million. When you look at some of the other players we've sold, I'm not going to go on about Mr. Otara, but being worth more than that, but that's just crazy stuff. But just my opinion, Matt, on that. But he's actually played his international game. If you'd like me to speak about that stuff, or
let's just quickly jump back into the comments, because I think there's Malcolm's updated us with who else are nominated for the same award. So we'll have a look through that as well. But let's jump back into the comments, and then we'll have a look at Semenyo's international game. Paul Oakley, are the shows not being turned into podcasts anymore? All the shows we do are all on the channel, Paul. So do check out the channel. That's where you find all the shows. We're also on Spotify and other things as well. So, everything is available across YouTube and Spotify and other places. Dan, I've got a Isaac shirt. I mean, obviously I've got loads of shirts that are printed. These things happen, don't they? Antonio has earned a nomination. Absolutely, Malcolm. Absolutely. Dan Short, Levy stepped down from Spurs chairman. Let's just quickly, and everybody in the chat, if you want to have your thoughts on this, do chuck it into the comments as well. So this is a good one. Thanks for bringing this one up, Dan. Bit surprising, this one, Paul. I was literally, I think, having my dinner last night, and I always have Sky Sports News on when I'm having my dinner to catch up on the day's news. And this story actually broke. I think Lee Hendry, the former Villa player, was in the studio, and he was absolutely shocked by the news. It's very, very surprising. I know Dave DeCosta, you're in the chat. It'd be interesting to hear your view on this as well. But I'm very, very surprised at this one, Paul. Very surprised.
Yeah, well, you mentioned Lee Hendry. He was a nasty piece of work, that lad, playing for Villa. Nasty player. But sorry, Mr. Hendry, if you're listening, but you were. But that's my opinion again. But look, it could be ill health. We'll probably be the last to know. It could be that he's reassessed his life and he's thought, well, I've got more money than I can ever spend. So what's the point of putting myself through all the abuse that he's copped abuse for years, hasn't he? From the fans and everything. I mean, Dave is the one to tell us. If you're still with us, Dave, you're the one to make the comment on that. You'd certainly have a better idea than I would on it. But look, football changes all the time, doesn't it? With chairman and stuff. But I think he's been there 24 years, hasn't he, Matt? A long time.
Long time, yeah, a very long time. I think it's very, very strange, because he's been, I think when you look at Spurs, I know the fans aren't happy with the success that they should have had more success on the pitch.
Yeah.
But off the pitch, and when you look at the stadium and the infrastructure, you know, that side of things has been really, really impressive. I think the main thing is from the fans, and maybe David can elaborate a bit more on that. They should have been more successful on the pitch, and they've obviously had some really good, winning managers. Mourinho and Conte, but they didn't work out for whatever reasons. But yeah, there's just a strange one. This and just before we come back to some of the other comments, David has just popped in the chat there. I see.
Oh, good. Good.
Levy pushed out would not have left on his own account. So that's an interesting one. So has he been pushed out then? Interesting. But yeah, definitely a shock, that one.
Sure. Yeah, Dave used to tell me that the fans thought that Levy was running it as a business with the concerts and the way they rent the stadium out for those things, rather than a football club. The fans have felt they'd lost their identity. That's what Dave used to tell me, as a football team. And Levy, how do you pronounce his name? Levy? I suppose it's Levi, whatever his name is. He was running it like that. So there you go. Excuse me, Matt. Yep.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, no worries. Let's quickly go back to the comments.
Yeah.
Right, so these are the players that are nominated.
Sure.
So we've got, is it Calafiori?
Yeah.
I think he's the guy that plays left back, isn't he, for Arsenal? And to be fair, I watched the Liverpool Arsenal game at the weekend. I was quite impressed with him. So, Grealish, Gay, Haaland, Pedro, Semenyo,
Zabolski, or whatever, Zabolski.
Yeah, he's the guy that plays with Kirkes at Liverpool for Hungary. Akete, is that how you pronounce it? Akite, is it? The Liverpool forward. I think he may edge it. I think.
Do you really? Do you?
Yeah, I think he may edge it. I would give it to Semenyo personally, but I think when people, vote, I think he may edge it.
Yeah, but you know what? The quality of Semenyo's second goal. I mean, when I remember the Liverpool goals that he scored, I think he scored 2. They weren't anything special. I mean, he just scored goals. He just scored 2 goals, I think. But Semenyo's goal. But like you say, it's on votes. If it's on votes.
He's been very impressive since he's come in at Liverpool, I think.
Sure.
From what I've seen of him. Semenyo's had a fantastic month as well. What is it? 1 goal and 2 assists. And plus just his performances are fantastic. So, I mean, obviously, be interesting to see who wins that.
Mr. Grealish has decided to look at this. That's a good one. Just about some. Mr. Grealish has decided he wants to come out and play football for a change, so that's interesting. But 60 million, we will throw in Richarlison. Yeah, I think throwing is the word. I think he might be injured, Dave. You never know. But
isn't he like their main man at the minute? He's been popping up with goals and all sorts, isn't he?
I think again he's only got 2, but one of his goals was a good one. I've got to give him credit for that. That overhead kick, or that whatever it was, that volley he did in midair was a really nice goal. I don't think Spurs fans are sold on that guy. He hasn't delivered, from my conversations with Dave. So yeah.
Okay. So Craig's popped in. Apologies, Paul. Been down in Cornwall this week, so have a backlog of stuff to get onto Spotify. I think that's a response to Paul Oakley, who's asked about the podcast. So thanks for popping that in the comments, Craig. We've discussed that one. Malcolm, it is the footballing side that Spurs fans have been so unhappy with. I mean, I think from what they've managed to do with their stadium and their infrastructure, I think it's fantastic. But obviously, it's just the the footballing side, they should have been more successful on the pitch, and I get that. Joe Lewis children had a big say, so I'm assuming Joe Lewis is the owner, is he?
Yeah.
I don't really know. They're heavily involved, so right, okay. Liam Humby, surprised that Levy has stepped down. He had to put up with a lot of hate from Spurs fans, but the fans have got what they wanted now. Yeah, I suppose they have. I suppose you're right there, Liam. But it'd be interesting to see who comes in and takes over the chairman role of the club. But yeah, be interesting to see what developments happen over the next few days, weeks, however long it takes to appoint a successor. Right, Paul. So international break, obviously we've touched on that. Obviously we've got a couple of England games coming up. Guys in the comments, are you watching the England games, or are you just not gonna bother? It'd be interesting to hear your thoughts. I won't be personally rushing to watch it. If I'm about, I'll probably put it on and have a little watch of it, but it's not something I'm gonna make sure I rush home for to switch the telly on, or rush down the pub for to watch it down there. Do you know what I mean? I think it's I love watching England. I love the tournament time. I love it, but sometimes it can get a bit tedious watching like qualifiers and friendlies, but and I think I didn't see the last England game. I think someone was saying the performance was quite bad. Was that a friendly that we lost? I can't remember, but I'm
not sure about Tuchel either, or how he's going to go. I'm really not sure. Somebody in the week commented that if Eddie Howe was running the show, I'd be watching all of it with Eddie. He's going to get there.
Yeah, you're right, Paul. And the thing is, not being biased here or anything, when you look out there, and when the England manager's job does come up, people will be saying, oh, Graham Potter and linking all these other names. And I'm not being funny, but I don't think I still personally think, and this might be me just, completely throwing it out there. I personally think the next time the England senior side win a trophy will be under Eddie Howe.
Mate.
And I honestly believe that.
Yeah, and I think that's public opinion. I think everybody would be absolutely thrilled if he got that job. But we've seen it in the past with the international managers. We saw it with Brian Clough and Peter Taylor. The whole of Britain wanted those guys in. They went for the interview. Malcolm and older viewers would know what I'm talking about. They went for the interview, and I think in the end Joe Mercer ended up with somebody. It was that irrelevant. I can't even remember who got the job. The whole of Britain, we want Clough, we want Peter Taylor. They missed their opportunity. They were on the ball. They were the men. They were the men at that time. But he's not a yes man. Brian Clough, Peter Taylor were not yes men, and they want yes men in that job. They messed that right up. Terry Venables, what a manager, great manager, and those guys, they nudge nearer the World Cup semi-final. They get us nearer. I won't go on about our last manager because I think he's had enough stick, but he's going to do TV shows now or something, isn't he? Do you know that his name won't even come to mind? The last England manager, I lost it in the head somewhere, but won't worry about it.
Southgate.
Oh, that's the one. How could I forget? Mr. Southgate. Yeah. We're going down a different road now. I'll talk about the international games, mate.
It's let's switch back to that. So let's start with Semenyo. Obviously, he's out on international duty. So I'll let you take it away, Paul.
Sure, buddy. Yeah, he's involved in 2 games in the international break. They've already played one, and he's got through that. He hasn't been injured. I know that much. They were winning 1-0 till about the 89th minute. Ghana, who is his national team, were top of the league, and Chad were the bottom of the league, and they equalised in the 89th minute to come out with a 1-1 draw. So that game's been played. Semenyo's, well, there was no report of him getting injured or anything, which is marvellous. He's then got to play on the 8th of September against Mali. I don't even know who they are. Mali, Mali. So he's come through that. Good. There's also been some other games played. I'll start with the first three that have been played. Wales beat Kazakhstan. Kazakhstan, that's a hard one to say again.
Is that Kazakhstan?
That's it. Thanks, Matt. Yeah. They beat them 1-0. That was in Kazakhstan or whatever it is. Kiefer Moore, surprise, surprise, scored the winner. Brooksy came on in the 77th minute, and he seems to have come through unscathed, which is brilliant. But Wales have one more game on the 9th of September against Canada, and I think our on-loan player Daniel Jebberson's probably going to be involved in that game, so that would be of interest. But the other game that's been played involves Patrick Kluivert with the Netherlands. They've played their game. Netherlands versus Poland ended up a 1-1 draw. Patrick Kluivert came on in the 84th minute as sub, and he seems to have come through that game. I mean, he hardly would have got a kick, would he? But he seems to have come through that game with Poland. They drew 1-1. Patrick Kluivert, it will be involved in the other game, which is on the 7th. That's in Lithuania against the Netherlands. So he's got a bit of travelling to do there. So there's a few of our players involved there. I'll keep going. We've got Ryan Christie and Ben Gannon-Doak involved with the Scottish squad, and I'm sure they'll both get minutes, those guys, both of them. He'll probably start with Christie, but he seems to want to play Christie in his old position, which I find strange. He hasn't reverted him to an attacking midfielder.
It's funny that you touch on that, because we all know Doug from the Dugout Football Channel, good friend of ours. Sometimes pops up in the morning on the chat if he's able to tune in. And Doug was actually making a very, very good point there about Christie, and how, Steve Clarke is playing him in that more forward position. But like he was saying, if Steve Clarke would actually realise where Christie's strength was and play him similar to the way Bournemouth play him, he'd do a much, much better job for Scotland, which I thought was a very, very interesting point that Doug made there. But yeah, sorry, back to you.
No, very much. I mean, we've all seen, Ryan Christie up front, and he's good, but he excels where he's playing now. In our team, he's excelling there. He's never had the strongest shot on him, let's be honest. And if he gets a chance in the Scottish game, who knows? I'll be interested. I'll look at the highlights of that one to see especially how Gannon-Doak goes, because I'm pretty sure he'll come on. He always brings him on at some point. But so they've got to play Belarus on the 8th, and then they're away. So he's doing a bit of travelling. Then he's in Denmark on the. I can't read my own writing there, but they're playing Denmark as well. I've missed that. I'm sorry about that. Keep them going. We've got Julio Soler is involved with Argentina.
Did they play overnight, Argentina?
I haven't caught that result, but it does say the 5th of September.
I think it was 12. It was scheduled 12:30 a.m. in the UK on the 5th of September. You carry on, Paul. I'll have a quick look.
Yeah. So he would have been in the squad. I would doubt he would have got on the pitch, but he would have been in the squad against Venezuela. And then they're travelling away again. So he's a busy boy going to Ecuador on the 9th.
Yes. Yeah. UK time, that's Wednesday the 10th at midnight.
Oh, see, that's, those dates are going to be different for me.
The dates will differ between, obviously, UK and Australia. But they did play last night. They played Venezuela, and they beat them 3-0. And the lineups, just having a quick look.
I wouldn't think he'd have got on.
He's not even listed on the bench, so maybe he didn't make the final squad then, possibly. Let me just double check the start in case I missed him.
Yeah.
No, so yeah, it looks like he hasn't made
Mm.
the final squad then.
Yeah. So he didn't get on the bench, but he's in the squad. So yeah, he'll probably be the same with the Ecuador game, I guess. We've got Tyler Adams in America right now. And he's playing tomorrow your time, I think, on the Saturday against Korea, which is interesting. And then he's staying in America, so he's not flying all around the world, against Japan. So that'll be a tough game against Japan on next Tuesday, our time, which I think I'll cut the dates because I'm going to get everybody confused with Australian time. But,
I didn't think of that. Yeah, I didn't think of that. Yeah.
No, that's okay. We've got Amin Adli for Morocco.
Yes.
And Morocco's playing Niger. Again, 5th of September, it says, whatever that is. And then on the 8th, they're going to Zambia to play Zambia. So that's interesting. Next game up is the Serbian under-21, our new signing Milo. I'm just gonna say Milo Milosevic or whatever. That wasn't a bad effort. But
yeah, I actually just very quickly, I had to put his name in because I'm terrible at pronunciation, and I put it into the system, and it actually came out as. Let me see if it would play again. Don't know if you heard that.
I didn't hear a thing.
No, so it's actually pronounced as. Let me just play it again. Milosevic is how the translator is telling me it's pronounced. I don't know.
That's quite easy to say, isn't it, Milosevic?
That's I literally put it into. I've got a how to pronounce thing on the computer, and I typed it in the spelling in the correct spelling, and it comes out Milosevic. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he's with Serbia. And they're playing away in France. They've only with the under-21s. He's with the under-21s, so they've only got one game. I think he'll feature in that one.
Yes, I would imagine he will. Yeah.
Yeah, we've got Junior Krupi, who is with France again. France are playing Luxembourg.
Is he with the one? Sorry, Paul. Is he with the under-21s?
He is. My apologies. Yeah, I should have said
that. Is he playing against? Are they playing against each other, Serbia and France?
Hang on. Well, what we've got France because he's a French international, isn't he?
Krupi, yeah.
Yeah, French. Yeah, they're playing Luxembourg in the under.
Oh, they're playing Luxembourg. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry.
First game. And the second game, they're both at home, so he's not travelled far. He's only gone over to France.
Right, okay.
Yeah, and he's then playing Serbia in the second game. So he's not going to be... Well, I guess he'll be playing in those games. I think they'll play him because he's a bit of a star of the under-21s, I think. We've got another guy here, Matai Akimboni. Oh, dear. These names are classic, aren't they? You know the one I'm trying to say anyway. Yeah. He's with the under-20s in America, so he'll be alongside.
Oh, yes. Yeah. So I know now. Yeah.
Akaboni, he might be out on loan, I think, at the moment.
I think he's had an injury. I might be wrong.
Is that what it is? All right.
Well, had an injury, but don't quote me.
No. It seems as though he's travelling. So we're getting towards the end now. There's Jimenez. There was no mention of him on the AFC Bournemouth website of going anywhere. Maybe there's a reason for that. I don't know. And one that surprised me, I thought Marcus Senesi might be travelling, but no, he's not going anywhere either. So
no, he wasn't selected. He wasn't selected.
I think that's good news for Bournemouth, isn't it? That he's not going.
Yeah, I mean, I've always had a soft spot for Marcus Senesi. He's, I love his aggression and I'm surprised he's not called up a bit more often, to be honest. But then there is, we all know what Argentina's like. They've got so much quality across all positions.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I'm sure he'd like to get called up a bit more, definitely. But yeah, from a selfish perspective, at least he's not playing more games, and the more
right.
you play, the more risk of injury you get. But before we look at some, me and Paul have done a little bit of research. We've looked at some of the most capped players that have represented Bournemouth. Now, these could be players that maybe have just played on loan for us or been played permanently for us. So we're just going to go and have a look through some of those names. Some of the names are displayed behind me here. It was quite interesting to look at how many caps that some of the players that have represented Bournemouth have actually earned internationally. So we're just going to touch on that shortly. But let's just jump back into the chat quickly. We've got Chris Hubble, who's going to be watching the England game. Fair play, Chris. Good.
They might ring him up and ask him what time he can watch it, and they'll kick off to suit Chris. Who knows, mate? They won't get many there, will they? What time's kick off? What time can you get there?
Yeah.
Right.
Good result for
Slovakia. I think it's meant to be Slovakia.
Slovakia, last night. Yeah.
It should be a V, I think. Yeah.
What was the score there? I didn't see any international football last night, so I'm not too sure on that one. So, yeah, Malcolm, if you're still with us, if you can give us some more info on that one, that'd be great.
I think Slovakia used to be Czechoslovakia, I think.
Right, okay.
I think that's what it was. I think it was a spelling error. Yeah.
Okay. I will be watching England game, Liam. Excellent. Cool. Malcolm, Christie left wing for Scotland doesn't make sense. And that was, Malcolm, that's exactly the point Doug was making when I went on to his preview show for the Bournemouth-Liverpool game a few weeks back when we were talking about Christie. Doug made the same point. Julie's in the chat as always. Good to see you, Julie. Hope you're well.
That's my niece, Julie.
Yeah. Tommy, good to see you.
That's what I said.
Yes. So Akin Bonnie, if I've said it right, apologies if I haven't.
That's the one.
Got a United States call up for the under-20 World Cup. And he's also said, I guess that means he's back from injury. Yes. Yeah, I did think he was injured. But he'll also be out for a while. It'd be nice to see if he's developed. Yeah, I remember when we signed him back last year. He looks a very, very exciting prospect. So, yeah, I'd like to see more of this guy. I really would.
He's a striker, isn't he, Matt?
Defender, centre-back.
Is he? Right, okay.
I'm not too sure if he can operate across the whole of the back four. Maybe Tommy can let us know on that one.
Right.
I'm pretty certain he plays centre-back.
Obviously, I haven't seen much of him either, so...
He's part of the first team squad. He's listed with the first team players. He has the number 45 shirt. So he is part of he's within the first team setup. I think he probably plays development games as well, to my knowledge, to get game time. But yeah, he's at the under-20 World Cup. So that's going to be interesting to watch that. I'm sure there'll be some TV footage and coverage of that. So if I can, I'm going to try and look up some of those games and see if I can catch him in a game. Beat Germany 2-0. Right. That's an excellent result.
Slovakia,
Yeah, excellent result. Yeah. And another one for you, Paul.
Oh, okay. Oh, hi, Ness. Yeah. We're going to have a spelling competition, Vanessa. I think that would be a good idea, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Well, obviously, international break means there's, a bit less Bournemouth news. Obviously, the guys throughout the week have covered other subjects as well. Like I think on Tuesday, if I remember rightly, Ollie and Sean covered off the ladies games and some ladies news.
Yeah.
Touched on the transfer window, and then obviously on Wednesday, Malcolm hosted with Darren, so that was a great show. There was all sorts of different types of discussion there, and then yesterday the guys touched on a few points as well, and that's why myself and Paul thought today we would do sort of an international feel. Just to round that up.
No, I've actually made a little error. I've missed a couple of people that are on international duty. I couldn't read my own. I've just finished that.
Yeah.
I couldn't read my own writing, but one's very relevant. It's Jordi Petrovic, our new keeper, 25 million. He's actually in Latvia at the moment, and he's going to be, I'm sure he'll be in goal for Serbia on, it says here, the 6th. But this is interesting. And then on the 9th, Serbia or England are playing Serbia in Serbia. Unless I've got my notes wrong, it's a 7:45 kickoff your time. And he'll be starring against England in goal in that game. So that'll be interesting, won't it? To watch him.
Yeah, that will be interesting. So that will be one to watch. Yeah. Definitely.
And the other one, my apologies that I missed was Callan McKenna, the goalie.
Yes.
Under 21 again. He's got 2 games. They're playing in Scotland, so he's not travelling far. Scotland versus Czechia and Scotland versus Portugal. I missed those. For some reason, I missed those 2 games. So there's quite a lot of involvement with Bournemouth players, isn't there?
Yeah, no, it's great to see. I mean, I remember back in the day when I was, a lot younger, when I was a kid, you'd see the likes of like Steve Robinson go off and represent Northern Ireland, and it'd be like, wow, Bournemouth players, gone off to represent his country, and and now we see like loads of players going out every international break, which is, it is like nice to see, and it's also nice to see their progress internationally as well. And I think that brings us on to our very last segment, our quick last segment of the show, where we're going to just quickly look back at some of the players that have played internationally that have also played for Bournemouth, and some interesting cap totals. Did you want to go first, Paul?
Yeah, well, how many would you like me to do, Matt? I've got about, I don't know.
However many you got.
Shall I? And then you'll fill in the gaps, you sure?
Yeah, okay. I've got some here, yeah.
Well, credit Matt with this because he picked up on Jermaine Defoe, who I've been lucky enough to see play. What a player. Yeah. 57 caps for England. Could do with him now, couldn't we? And 20 goals. What a player for Bournemouth. Yeah, 20 goals.
I remember watching Jermaine when he first come on loan from West Ham, and this young guy's turned up, and I remember, I think his shirt was massive. I think he made his debut at Stoke, and this little lad out-jumped the defence and scored his first goal in his debut with his header, and the shirt he had on was huge. He couldn't have had any shirts left to fit him. But I just remember that, just the real long shirt he had on. But yeah, fantastic loan spell he had, and obviously he came back to Bournemouth, didn't he? And that was great. That's why I got him on the back of his shirt, because he was a hero growing up, and to see him in a Bournemouth shirt again, even though it wasn't the greatest of spells, from a goal scoring perspective, but it was great to see him back again.
Do you know what, Matt? One match comes to mind when he was up front with Josh King and Callum Wilson. I mean, what a forward line, those 3. When he came back the second time, he played with those 2. And I remember they went up to Burnley, and I think we flogged them 3-0 at Turf Moor. My memory may be wrong, but that's just my first memory. And I love watching him. That goal he scored at Crystal Palace from way out. Remember, he just, I don't know. You remember that on the right wing? He just hit that ball right in. I mean, who else could do stuff like that?
Yeah.
Incredible skill.
Incredible.
But I won't get too bogged down. We've got a player who left last week. We've got Chris Mepham. He got 50 caps for Wales. David Brooks is still clocking them up. He'll now be on 36 caps for Wales. Now, this surprised me. This one. Ines Unel, 34 caps for Turkey. You know, I mean, we haven't seen the best of him. I don't think we had only that free kick that he hit at Dean Court, but which was an incredible free kick. But you know, for him to get 34 caps with Turkey, he must have been doing something right over there to play for them for that many caps. And here's a little beauty coming up again, Ryan Christie, 59 caps with 7 goals. Great. Another one out of the archive is Ted McDougall, 7 caps for Scotland with 3 goals. That's still a goal every other game, isn't it? Incredible strike rate.
Yeah. I mean, it's amazing, isn't it, that a striker that was so prolific only got 7 international caps.
I know the answer. He fell out with Tommy Docherty.
Oh, right.
Yeah, he did. He fell out with Tommy Docherty. I mean, I hope I'm right, but Docherty was Man United's manager when Ted was there. When Ted got transferred to Man United, I'm pretty sure Docherty was the manager, and they had a fall. I mean, he's Scottish. They had a falling out, and then he was still scoring goals for United. Not too many, but he still scored. I think he scored with every club he went to. And then Docherty then got the Scottish job after the Man United job, and of course Ted was in his eye shot there, and Ted, that's the reason Ted didn't do it for him. They didn't get on at all. I mean, Tommy Docherty was a funny, strange character. You know what I mean? You wouldn't want to cross him; he'd just cut you out. And I think that's what happened with Ted.
Oh, right.
Yeah, there was a definite disagreement there. I mean, we all know about Ted. I don't even need to talk about him. But Justin Cliver, 7 caps, no goals. We've got an 8th today. Some good names coming up here. Harry Arter, 54 caps for Ireland, 6 goals. You know what a player he was. And
did he really get 54 caps?
That's what I read this morning. 54 caps. I hope I'm right.
Wow.
Yeah. Does that look right?
19 caps I've got here.
Okay. No, I've misread something. Oh, I'm so sorry. You're dead right. I'm sorry about that. I read the wrong one.
19 caps for Republic of Ireland.
And 6 goals. Yeah.
And no goals, it says here.
Okay. So
2015 and 2021, 19 caps, but he was also capped at under 17 and under 19 level for Republic of Ireland as well.
You know what? I reckon I'm reading the bottom line of the three.
Yeah.
Sorry, my apologies, Matt.
No.
One of your great favourites coming up. George Best.
Yeah.
George Best, 37 caps for Northern Ireland.
Yeah.
Which is not a lot, is it?
No, but then I think people think back, don't they, and go, well, that wasn't a lot of caps when you see like how many caps players get these days. But I think back then, and obviously you'll know from up around that time, there wasn't so many international games, was there? And Ireland didn't really qualify for many finals, so there was less caps to earn for players like George Best.
Yeah, they used to have the home international tournaments, which were brilliant. They were great when it was England, Ireland, Wales, Northern Ireland. They were great games to watch. He would have featured in a lot of them.
Yeah.
Another couple of not so distant. Well, we've got Lewis Cook with 1 cap. Be interesting to see if he ever gets back into the reckoning, wouldn't it? Lewis Cook.
Yeah, it would be nice to see.
Oh, very much. We've got Callum Wilson with 4 caps. One of my favourite Bournemouth players, Matty, Josh King for Norway, 34 caps, and it says here it's the most scored by a Bournemouth player at international level, 12, by a consistently played. Yeah, that's what I read.
Yeah. It's probably right, Paul. That. Yeah.
He was a great goal scorer. Jefferson Lerma for Colombia. It just said, I don't know why we couldn't get a definite figure. Why I couldn't get a definite figure on that. It just said over 30 caps. But I think he's still going. He's 30 years old now. Wouldn't believe that, would you? Jefferson Lerma, 30 years old. But then we need to revert to some of those shirts because that's my list, Matt. There's a few names from the past there, but behind
yeah. There's a few. I've got. Let me just look at my notes very quickly before we wrap up today and for this week. Where's my notes gone? You can never find them when you want them. So, who did we have? So, here's one from Blast from the Past. Is Ian Hart, who had 64 caps. But there's also just clocked a comment from Scott.
Yeah, Colin Clark.
Colin Clark. Now, I think, didn't Colin Clark, if I'm not mistaken, did he not score at a World Cup finals while he was a Bournemouth player? Am I right?
He did, Matt, and I think it was 1990. No, 92. That would be 92. Yeah, he did score for Ireland. Yeah, he did. You're right.
Yeah, at a World Cup finals, which I think was 86, wasn't it? Because I think I would have been months old.
It. You're right.
I'd have been about 6 years old. Yeah. Okay. So that'd be interesting to see how many caps Colin Clark earned because he's I don't think I've got him on my list. There's so many players when you look back at it.
That's right.
So I mean, I've also got now Shane Long only played for Bournemouth on loan, but 88 caps he had for Republic of Ireland.
Yeah.
And who else did I have? We've got Jerry Payton.
Yeah, great keeper.
Benica Thoby.
Yeah.
Played for the DR Congo. 6 caps there. Callum Wilson, I think who you've mentioned.
Yeah.
Aaron Ramsdale, 3 caps for England.
Has he got 3 caps?
3 full caps for England. The man behind me here, who obviously finished his career at Bournemouth.
What a player.
Great defender. 61 caps for the England senior team.
What a player. Yeah.
So when you look through the history, I mean, we could be here for hours talking about this, but it was just nice to pick out a few players, who have played for Bournemouth at some stage in their career that's had international recognition and well remembered, lads. Right, so I think we were right there, Paul, on the '86 World Cup.
Yeah, so, I remember seeing it. I remember seeing it on TV, thinking, "Wow, Colin Clark scored."
Yeah,
I think he was still with Bournemouth. He didn't get. He ended up going to Southampton.
I think he was at Bournemouth when he scored at the World Cup.
Yeah, that's right.
I think this was a topic myself and Johnny Blair may have covered, which brings me on nicely to a little segment that I will talk about very, very shortly. We will go back through some of the comments just to finish off. Thank you, Scott, for bringing up Colin Clark. That was an excellent one. Just very quickly, I'm going to just discuss a couple of shows that are coming up and also what's coming up next week. But if you haven't already, please do like and subscribe to the channel. We are 12 subs away from the 2,000 mark. So if you haven't, guys, please do give a sub. We're 12 subs away from that 2K mark. So please
and tell a friend. Tell a friend, Matt.
Tell a friend. I remember back in the late 90s, I think there was a campaign like "Bring a mate, double the gate." I think it was it did something like that. So
at Bournemouth.
Yeah. I think it was when Trevor Watkins was there. It was like "Bring a mate, double the gate," and so bring a mate and double the sub.
He did a lot for the club. Trevor Watkins did a lot for Bournemouth, didn't he?
He certainly did. He certainly did. Tommy, he's a centre back, 93 centimetres. He's been with the first team for a while now, so I wonder where he ranks in terms of centre backs. Yeah, no, that is a good question, Tommy. And not only that, I think with him being within the first team, even though he's not playing games in the first team, I'm sure it's really aiding his development as well. So I think, I would love to see this guy play in the first team, definitely. Malcolm, have a great weekend, everyone, and to you, Malcolm, as well. Well done for your show on Wednesday, mate. It was great. Chris, I will do, Mal. Have a great weekend. Thanks, Chris. You're welcome, Mal. Yeah, and you, Chris. Have a great weekend. Paul, didn't you support Sheffield Wednesdays for a while?
No. This is my friend's humour. This is Ian, who I know. He's from the north of England. He supports Sheffield Wednesday all his life, and it's just a joke. No. We used to beat them every now and again, Ian. I know that much. But,
yeah, we did.
The Owls. Yeah.
We did.
Hi, Ian. Good to see you, mate. New viewer. Press that subscribe button, Ian, and we'll get 11. We'll be down to 11 then.
Yeah, no, definitely, Ian. Yeah, and yeah, I do hope everything at Sheffield Wednesday as well gets sorted soon, because I know it's been a terrible time for the fan base up there.
That club was massive, wasn't it?
Massive. Yeah. It's tragic when you see things like that. As you know, forget football teams and rivalries and things like that. It's all about the fans, and it's tragic. So, Ian, I do hope everything plans out well up there for you guys. And like Paul said, we've had some great encounters with Sheffield Wednesday. I mean, I remember when sort of in the mid 2000s, going up to Hillsborough and getting a result, and back in the Sean O'Driscoll days. Yeah, great. Vanessa, well done, guys, for that packed show. Yeah, to be fair, I didn't think me and Paul would be on this long, to be fair, Vanessa.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
No, just because we didn't prep as much as we normally prep, and but because you guys are always in the chat, it's always great to interact with you guys. So, no, thanks for that. And David DaCosta, great show. And thanks to you, David, as always, for joining us. So that's it for today's show. Just to point out, Cherry Picking won't be going out on the channel today at 9. That's because we're doing one sort of in the middle of the international break, where myself and Johnny Blair will be bringing you a Bournemouth team of all French players. So we've built a French team of former Bournemouth players and current Bournemouth players. So there's some really good, interesting names in this one. That's due out Sunday, time to be confirmed, but it will be out Sunday early evening, hopefully. So that would be the cherry picking for the week. Earlier on in the week, I did a little transfer roundup. If you haven't seen it, do check it out. It's called Transfer Window Triumph, where obviously you look back at...
Matt, that show was excellent. You did a great job on that. It was about a 15-minute show. Really, really informative for any Bournemouth fan. If you haven't seen it, guys, I recommend that. Have a look at that. It's a good one. Good show.
Yeah, cheers, Paul. Thanks for that.
It was a good show.
No, much appreciated. So that's out if you want to hear my opinions on the window. And then there's also a very, very special show coming up very soon with our friend Darren Hurst, who obviously made his debut on Cherry AM. It's going to be a similar show to what myself and Paul done a little while ago, and it's going to be about his memories and his time as a Bournemouth fan. So that will be coming up very, very soon as well. Next week, Cherry AM will be back, same time, 8 a.m. from Monday to Friday, and obviously there'll be various different hosts each day. Myself and Paul will join you on the Friday, but the Monday to Thursday there'll be a combination of Craig, Malcolm, Ollie, Sean, so they will bring you all the latest Cherries news and gossip and chat. But yeah, that kind of rounds it off. So until the next one, from myself and Paul, thank you for joining us, and we will see you next Friday.
Thank you, guys.
Up the Cherries.
Up the Cherries, yeah.
TalkSport Fan Network.
The ultimate on-demand destination for the UK's best fan-led football podcasts.
Want authentic supporter insight on all things Bournemouth? Follow Up the Cherries in all departments on the TalkSport Fan Network.
Club-dedicated content created by the fans, for the fans.
Search TalkSport Fan Network.
I should be like you, Mel.